That one's going to spin.
I'm going to turn screen and stuff.
Welcome, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Denver Takeover Show happening right now here in the studio with me. I've got some exciting guests, Christian, and we're going to call it the Gift of Giving, the Gift of Giving show right now here on KUHSdenver.com. And if you want to watch everything, if you can't see it here on Facebook Live, you can go to KUHSdenver.com and watch the Ustream live on our TV widget there on our website. Also, we've got it streaming audio, so you can hear it on audio per se. Just go to KUHSdenver.com and click on listen, or you can go to all the platforms, which is iTunes, Google Play, Roku, streaming.net, Simple Radio. We're everywhere, so don't say you can't hear us. So we're here in the studio. I'd like to welcome here. This is called the Gift of Giving. Welcome everybody from the Facebook page. Everybody, we're going to say hello to everybody there. Over here, we're going to say hello to everybody in the international audience. So at this point, I'm going to introduce Christian, and you introduce your guest, and then we're going to start talking about what you did in the gift of giving. It's not a want, it's a need. So Christian on
Facebook, Christian Reynolds on Instagram, the Go Save a Life community on Facebook. I'm pretty excited. I'm here with my recipient, Dwight Randolph, and you can find him on Facebook also. Say hi to Dwight.
Hey everybody.
Yeah. So he's the recipient of my kidney. I donated a kidney to him in July. July what?
It was July 21st.
July 21st, so a couple months ago. And it kind of changed my life, really. I'm pretty excited about the whole thing. I was able to save somebody's life, and it really didn't affect me. And now I've made it one of my missions in life to, let everybody know about this beautiful experience that I had, and to maybe possibly even think about having that experience for yourselves, because I highly recommend it. Anyways, I was so motivated, I started the Go Save a Life Facebook page, and it's in the process of becoming a tax-exempt entity. So I'm pretty excited about that. We're going to be doing shows and events to raise awareness and raise money, and hopefully find some people some kidneys and save some lives. That's really what it's all about. I can't think of anything more exciting than saving somebody's life.
And it's really good, Christian. I mean, you go by Christian. Is that your stage name or your professional name as a model, actor, and all the good things that you do?
Yeah, that's more of my name as a model and actor. I just kind of created the Christian Facebook page specifically for my modeling and acting stuff, and to be a spokesperson for my actual business too. So. Yeah.
And what's really nice is I watched your recipient here. He acts just like you now that he has a piece of you. No, I'm just kidding. Just like. Now, what's it feel like to have that donate? I mean, you feel great.
Yeah.
Let our audience know what was the conditions that you were under. What were you experienced at the time, and then you met Christian. Tell the audience what you felt. What was going on in your life.
Yeah. So I was actually. I was mixed diagnosed with the flu in January. I had some chest pain and shortness of breath, and a couple days later it got really worse, and so I went back to the ER, and before I knew it, I was put on life support. I was on life support for about 4 days, and they had trouble figuring out what it was, but they eventually figured out it was a rare autoimmune disease, and it shut down my kidneys, and so I was on dialysis up until the surgery, and I met Christian at the gym. I've actually worked out with him a couple times, and I work at the gym, so we knew each other just from passing and more of acquaintances than anything else, really.
So he's not just an acquaintance. He's not really your lifelong friend or anything like that?
Yeah, no, we just talked in the gym by passing, and said hi, and we worked out a couple times, but we weren't really like friends or anything serious.
Wow. And how did you guys come across this, talking that you're in need of a kidney? How did you guys come across to start talking about that? What happened? Let us know.
Yeah, so after everything happened, I went back to work to try to get some normalcy in my life, I guess. And I was leaving one day, and Christian was leaving from a workout, and he saw me, and I looked completely different. And so he asked what happened, and I just told him everything, and I told him that I was in for a live donor, and he didn't hesitate. He said he would do it. And
Wow. You just said you do it. Just, I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
It's like you just said you do it.
I don't know, it just resonated with me, and I felt like it was something that I needed to do, that I at least needed to see if I was a match to do it. And so I made the first steps to see if it was even possible, and everything just fell into place. And that at that time I knew it was meant to be. And yeah, so I did it, and I was really excited about the whole process. I wasn't really scared. I just was excited,
And it came out. And were you frightened at any time? I mean, did you say, "Hey, I hope this works. I'm taking his kidney"? I mean, do you think?
Yeah,
Did that run through your mind?
Yeah,
Judas,
definitely. I mean,
crazy.
I was scared for myself, obviously, and I was scared for him, because
Like-
he was willing to do something for me, and you're nervous. You don't want anything bad to happen to him,
Now,
So you have that on your brain as
does
well.
the doctor or anything talk to you about this? Does he say this could go wrong? Blah 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 blah. blah.
Yeah, I mean,
they
they
give you all
always-
that shoot.
Yeah, they always tell you the risk because they have to legally and everything.
Yeah.
But they say nowadays it's really more of a procedure than anything else because they do it so often and the technology is so advanced that they're able to really do it with little risk. I mean, Christian was in the hospital for a couple days and then he went back to work.
They just reached up in his belly button, yanked it out, and slapped it in yours, right?
Pretty much.
They're so good. The technology nowadays has really made it easy. I mean, they make little small incisions anymore.
Right.
Tear you open and then pop it right in there, and they take care of yourself. Now we'd like to also welcome into the studio Mr. James Hodling, and so
Jim Jett.
Jim Jett. Hey, Jim. Yeah, because he's a pilot, captain of your vessel. So if you're
Captain of Frontier.
yeah, captain at Frontier Airlines. Mr. James is the reason why these two individuals are here. He said he'd like to share this and go along and bring this story to KUHS. I says, yeah, this is a great story. It's in the time of giving, around Christmas time, and we thought, there's a lot of people who want, but there's people who need, and that's what's going on here. And so we wanted to share this exciting story of what Christian did, and it's just kicked up all the stuff. It's kicked up an organization that he's all part of. Now, if you want to look behind you, and we'll kind of patch into that, and we can talk a little bit about what's going on right there behind you. So,
yeah, so this is one of the videos. In the background here you see Sarah, and she donated a kidney to her stepfather 15 years ago, and it was a success. It saved his life, and she hasn't had any complications or even noticed. She told me that most of her life she's basically forgotten that she ever donated. So I was just like,
How long
whoa.
ago was that?
It was 15 years ago that she donated.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, if there was something, she would have known about it by now. And I was just like, wow, this is an amazing story. We need to share this with people, because I feel like that's the main barrier, is people are so scared. They think that, this is going to ruin the rest of their life, but it's really not the case. It's actually quite
I
the
would be
opposite.
scared, honestly.
You would be scared?
Yeah.
What would be your fears?
well, I've been needing a heart, and so if you wouldn't mind donating your heart to me,
I can get part of it too.
part of it. That's very nice.
Just a part.
So generous.
Not all.
So generous.
So I like your style. Anyways.
So Dwight, let me ask you.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind when Christian said, "Let me see if I'm a match"?
I mean, I was excited, because, it's my life, obviously, and so it means a lot.
Were you
and-
really hurting? You were really, really hurting.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, and just him saying that, it means a lot, and I was excited, but I was nervous for him too, because
Yeah.
someone's willing to do that for you, and you don't even
That's
have
what I was
them.
wondering, if you were nervous for him.
Yeah, and you feel not really guilty, but it's like you don't want to ask somebody to do that. And I didn't really ask him. I just told him I was looking for it, and that he didn't hesitate, and he wanted to do it. So.
But did it plague you for days, just wondering
Yeah, I
if
mean,
he was serious?
yeah, you do wonder, like people might say something in the moment, and then they might think about it and be like, that's crazy. That's kind of, you do think about that, like,
I would think that my mind would be just, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
yeah, I mean, my mind was racing, but I was used to that for a while, with everything going on, so. but you know, I just figured if Christian's gonna do it, he's gonna do it. And I mean, I didn't know him that well, but just like from knowing him as much as I have,
You were
I
just
knew that he was
acquaintances at the gym, right?
right. We didn't really talk much, but you know, I could see the type of person he was, and so I knew, you know, maybe he was serious, just by the personality and the kind of person that
I
he
would
is.
honestly think that he wasn't.
Right.
Like if it was me,
Yeah.
I think I was
Right,
just telling
honey?
you what you want to hear.
yeah, I would honestly just be thinking like, no, this guy's not for real.
Yeah. Well, surprisingly, so what actually I did was after I got through the evaluation to get on the kidney transplant list, which for a deceased donor that actually takes 4 to 8 years, and so I didn't even
Is
know
that
if I
right?
had that long.
4 to 8 years.
4 to 8
Yeah.
years for a deceased donor.
If
Now-
somebody wouldn't have stepped up, he would have been on dialysis for 4 to 8 years.
Yep.
Now, this is what's going on in the hospitals and everything. To me, it seems like they have this list, of course, but then I think money dictates that list. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think it could, but I don't have any proof, so I don't want to say that it does or bash the system.
What do our
because it
viewers
is
think?
So what you
helping
do?
people. Yeah,
What do
if
our
there's some
viewers think?
viewers and they have some input on this,
Right.
feel free, you know, to
Yeah,
comment
chime in.
or ask
Chime in
something.
on Facebook.
I want to say hi to Sylvia. She just said hi to all of us, so hi, Sylvia.
Yeah,
Hi, Sylvia.
Hi, Sylvia.
I ain't talking there. No, just kidding. Just kidding. So tell me something here now. You've got all this going on, and you know, what do you guys both think? Do you feel like this together now? You guys talk to each other all the time now about it. Is your family? I read that
Your
your
blood
family
brothers,
is-
literally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we are
That's a good way to put
blood
it.
brothers
right?
or kidney brothers. is-
First time
Kidney brothers.
Blood
First time you
brothers.
took a pee, it was my pee. Probably.
Yeah, that's true.
That
No,
clip on yours.
no, jeez. Wait a minute, it didn't come out. That, you know.
So when you went into surgery,
I like that one.
what were you thinking? That's what it's like. My mind would be absolutely going crazy.
I mean, I was just ready to go, man.
When
like,
they
as
prepping
Christian,
you, you know, when the nurses are prepping you for surgery.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it
was
was
ready
the
to go.
funniest thing. We're back in the operating room. We're like
You're together,
pre-operation.
right?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were together.
So
I mean,
he's,
both of you are
he's
laying
next to me.
together,
We just changed into our. You know, they give you those little nighties where your butt's hanging out in the back, and
I hate those things.
we're hanging
Who
out
designed
and-
that stuff?
and Dwight's over there in his little roller thing, his bed, all covered up, like ready to go. I'm like, dude, we still got like 15 minutes. What
You
are
must have
doing?
been just, I don't know. I honestly
peed his
couldn't
pants.
describe. I couldn't describe where my mind would be. I really
Yeah,
wouldn't know.
yeah. I mean, I was just
He was
excited
ready.
and ready to go.
Excited
You know?
but scared at the same time, right?
I wasn't even scared because you know this was my. I thought you know
Well,
I mean, it's a scary
this
thing,
was your
but-
last chance.
this was it. You know, like
Besides to us.
yeah. I mean,
Who
I
wants to do
wasn't
that?
even scared anymore. You know, I was scared of not getting it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You must be thinking that he's going to change his mind or he's going to get cold feet or something.
Right. I
Just,
mean,
like,
that does go through your
disappear,
mind,
Right?
like the last minute. You never
Yeah.
know. Like I get there and then he
Christian
doesn't show up
bails.
or something. You know,
Yeah, that would be
which
the
goes through my
worst.
mind. You know.
Yeah.
but,
I mean,
that
that's,
does happen to
I
people.
would totally think that. What do you viewers think?
So
Let
all
us
of those
know
who
on
are
Facebook.
watching now, chiming in right now, you're listening to the act of a donor, which is Christian, donating to Dwight
And the recipient.
his kidney. And it's here live. So, you know, for those who in the act of giving, this is the time of the season.
This
So
is our
don't
season.
try to wrap up
Season
your
of giving.
kidney in a present, give to somebody. No,
This is
give
a
it to
whole
the
different
hospital.
level of giving.
Well, you
There's
can go
whole
to
different
the
level.
Go Save a Life Facebook page, and there's a link that you can click on to start the process. It's just a survey that you fill out, and from there, a transplant coordinator from UC Health will contact you to get all the tests done for free.
Plus, they'll take the kidney right then and there.
I got my
So,
knife.
Dwight, I gotta ask you.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you. What was going through your mind when you woke up from surgery?
When I woke up through surgery, you know,
What was the first thing you were thinking?
I gotta go pee.
No. Actually, that's a funny story. So
It is a funny story.
So I'll
Tell
go.
'em.
So actually, the kidney was working too good was the complication that I had. Because some people have, you know, there's complications through surgeries and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And so I did have a complication, but it was a good one.
I mean, your immune system could say no.
Now the
Yeah.
thing about it is, you're an avid, you
Let's-
like to work out. You're an avid health guy.
Right,
You like to work out. You like a healthy body. You got to look good for
He's
the
an
modeling.
actor.
right.
Actor.
You know.
So
It's kind of like my job.
Model.
it's like he gave you a perfect kidney.
Right.
He
And,
literally
I mean, before
gave
this, I
you
was
a part
actually,
of himself.
yeah, I mean, before this, I was
I
in really
can't
good shape
imagine
too and
that.
everything. I
You're in
lost a lot
great
of weight.
shape, and that's
Yeah,
what
we used to
happened.
work out together, and like I lost all the weight from everything. So unfortunately, but
Are you still working out?
yeah, we go to the gym all
Yeah,
the
we went to
go
we
the
did
gym.
legs
We
yesterday.
did legs
Oh,
yesterday.
nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
At the
but
school where at
You
the,
guys
at
are
the
like
gym where we met.
special friends now.
yeah, I mean, there's something special.
In a
you know?
great way.
Now,
Bond.
can we do a shout out for Mr. Chuck Uliberry?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's
Chuck.
do a shout out for Mr. Chuck Uliberry. For anybody who is out there willing to donate a kidney to Mr. Chuck Uliberry,
Yeah,
step
definitely.
forward.
Yeah.
Mr. Chuck Uliberry is in need of a kidney, and I'm going to do that for you, Chuck.
Yeah, I love
Anybody.
Chuck.
Yeah,
Chuck's
anybody.
Everybody
He's a
out there
great
in
guy.
Facebook land,
Let me.
send your questions to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
we will,
Chuck
Go
is
ahead.
he's a great guy. He's an older gentleman, and he is an O blood type. He's actually the videographer that's been helping me put together all these videos. Sarah's story and
They
her
look good.
sister. Yeah, that video turned out great. We did interviewed a 17-year-old little boy at the Children's Hospital. He's since found a kidney. One of his family members has stepped up, and it's scheduled in January. So,
So
I'm really
awesome.
excited about that. John's getting a new kidney. We've also documented some other stories, and Chuck has been a great help. I think that his videos, are going to save lives, and I really need to find him a kidney. He's an O positive blood type, which is one of the hardest blood types to find.
Moses, are you ready to donate your kidney? He said yes.
Moses, wake up. Don't fall asleep on us.
What blood type are you, Moses?
No. So Chuck, we're putting a big old chime out to you all over the world to see if we can find you a
Really
kidney
question.
and see if we can help you in this broadcast. I'd like to thank everybody who chimed up there on all the different comments. They said that my dad was saved by my sister, and everybody's putting up who actually stepped up to do this very same thing. It's just a
It is-
really
It's
inspiring
amazing story.
inspiring story that will help you in your life or in case you're needing a kidney. And this one we're going out for Chuck Uliberry, brother. We're seeing if we can find you something just by putting a big shout out there for you. And here's proof right here, sitting in the studio,
That it works.
that it works.
Dwight, how long has it been now?
It's been 4 months. Yeah, 4 months.
Since July
Do you
21st.
notice it and like how you feel?
Oh,
in
yeah,
general?
it's a big difference. Best way I could describe it is feeling like lighter because your body gets full of toxins when your kidneys aren't working.
Right.
And so the best way to feel is like lighter and just better. Like
I'm surprised.
Yeah, like
my
when-
organs still work.
if you
Yeah,
imagine
but
like
I'm-
if you eat a big meal and you feel bad afterwards, I guess that's the best way. It's not exactly it, but that's probably the best way to describe how you feel.
Well, tell me
It's kinda
something. If you
heavy.
guys,
Yeah.
you're good buds now. If you get in a fight, is he trying to say, "Give me that kidney back"? Come on, man, bro, give it back then.
That's illegal.
That's illegal.
How,
don't think
how,
it would.
It's his
how
now.
close to the dialysis were you? Or were you doing?
I was doing it. I was doing it from when I was on life support. They started me on it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And so you gotta, what do you do? What do you lay in a bed or something for 4 hours?
So I did 2 different types. The first type is what most people do, which is you have to go to a center every other day, and you sit in a chair for 4.5 hours, minus 4.5 hours. It depends on how
Every
much you
other
weigh.
day?
Every other day. 4.5
Oh
hours.
my
You have to sit there
God.
while you're hooked to a machine, and they do dialysis, which filters and cleans the blood for you.
Can
but
you
it only
feel
does-
it? Like, what do you feel?
You don't feel anything, but
But Christian said that when he looked at you one day in the gym, you looked like hell.
yeah. So
Jesus.
that's true though. I
Or
did.
didn't he?
Yeah. So that was because I was on. They had me on a bunch of steroids for the autoimmune disease to
Corticosteroids?
yeah, to lower the inflammation, and so I puffed up pretty big, and
Really?
plus the kidney failure. I also you get
You're just
yellow eyes
bloated and
just
really?
yeah,
Yellow eyes.
yeah. I guess that's what
He
I didn't even
turned a
realize
little
it.
yellowish
Really?
color, and
I
his
didn't even
face
realize
Is that
all
what he was
swollen
looking at?
up. Yeah, he looked Asian, I thought, because his face was so
Asian.
swollen up.
And right behind us, we
Yeah.
have Mr. Chuck Uliberry. And this
Yeah.
is the gentleman who is in need of a kidney. If you know anybody who would like to step forward and say, I'm in the mood for the gift of giving. Looking for Mr. Chuck Uliberry right behind us. And I'll zoom in so you can see what he
We want
looks
to
like.
think what you guys are thinking out
Yeah.
there in Facebook land, I
So,
call it.
Hello to Mr.
Questions
Ernie
for-
Washington. How are you, brother? If you just chimed in, you're listening to KUHSdenver.com and a special show about the gift of giving here, and with Mr. Dwight and Mr. Christian and also Mr. James. All of us
Days
together.
away from Christmas.
Days away from Christmas. If you're in the gift of giving, there's always ways to do it. And the name of the website is again, Christian.
Go Save a Life.
Go
Go Save a Life community on Facebook. I don't have the website up and going yet, but we have all this stuff on the Facebook and also a YouTube channel. If you Google
sure.
or YouTube search Go Save a Life,
I'd be too scared.
donate, my YouTube channel will pop right up. So yeah.
Now, one other thing, I'm sure the doctors have talked to you about this. Now, you've got this new kidney. Is it for a lifetime, or they say it could fail at any time? Or
I mean, it's
what is the conditions of this?
Did they put you on medicine so your body wouldn't reject it at first?
yeah, they do put you on medicine. They put you on immunosuppressive medicine,
Yeah.
but that's also the treatment for the autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a double whammy. And there's only a 1%. I think my doctor said there's like less than a 1% of the autoimmune disease ever coming back once you get the kidney transplant.
I see.
They've seen it in other patients.
So how long does it take where the doctor says, okay, it took on? It's
Oh, it took-
your
I-
body's taking
yeah,
it.
so
It's working.
I urinated right when they put it in.
Wow.
So that
Right
means
away?
Yeah, right when they put it in, the doctor said I urinated,
That's
which is a
definitely
really
my
good sign.
Jeez.
And so we were
I
talking
hope
about
you were close to a bathroom.
I was out of it, so
A catheter in.
yeah,
You had a catheter?
I had a catheter, and so that's part. Like we were talking about earlier, I actually got dehydrated because the kidney was working too well, and I passed out. I think my blood pressure dropped to like 30 over 20.
Well, your body's not used to it.
Yeah, Christian.
This
Oh, it
is
was
the
actually
best
in the
story.
room.
Tell him. Let him tell this
Go ahead.
story.
Okay, Christian was in the room with me and my mom, and I was just eating lunch, and I was feeling pretty good, and all of a sudden I didn't really feel good.
This is after
And-
he got the kidney, right?
Yeah, this
the
is
next
after,
day.
the next day, and I was just eating lunch and feeling good, and then all of a sudden I was like, I don't feel very good, and like I started feeling funny, and the next thing I knew, I
What's
guess
funny mean?
like
Dizzy?
I just dizzy, lightheaded, just like I was gonna.
Do you
Like, I
think
thought I
that
was
was a
dying again.
panic attack?
It wasn't a panic attack, no.
You just
Um,
felt really weird.
I just felt weird, and I passed out, and I woke up, but I felt really good, and I actually jumped out of the chair, and that's the first time before that I had to get to the chair.
He
I
couldn't,
wasn't.
he
I
couldn't even
couldn't
get out of
to
the chair. Yeah.
I
He
jumped
needed help.
up,
He
and I
just-
think it was like a mix of like adrenaline and all
Yeah.
the stuff they gave me kicked in, and I started cussing and like.
Really?
He was
Yeah,
screaming.
I
He
was
was like,
You
screaming.
motherfucker, you
Yeah.
son of a biscuit!
Yeah.
He was
Mother,
like,
go to hell!
It was
I
sounded
want
like
to
he
go
was on.
back on that.
It sounded like he was on a roller coaster. He was like, "Woo!"
Yeah, and I was like, this is the best kidney ever, because like they told me I was dehydrated because the kidney was working too well that my body couldn't keep up with it. So they had me on fluids. They hooked me up
Well,
with
your
IVs
body's
on.
not used to it.
Yeah, they hooked me on fluids for 3 days, I think.
How long did it take for your body to actually to get used to it?
It took actually a long time because most people, the longest they've seen that is 72 hours, where your body can't keep up with the kidney. And usually with people, it takes them a long time to urinate because their body hasn't been urinating for several years. But I wasn't on dialysis that long, so it wasn't that big a deal for me. But
I got stories to tell.
but yeah, so they had me on fluids for like 3 or 4 days, and I had to drink a bunch of water to try to keep up with it, but it was just draining like a faucet.
Is that
So
right?
that's what caused this.
And that's why I blacked out, because I got dehydrated. 'Cause at
So
the time I was
you had
on
a lot
fluids
of
or anything.
toxins in your body, right?
Yeah, until it was really getting all the toxins, so that's a good thing.
So it probably took
Filtering out really good.
days,
Yeah, but it took me like weeks to start, because
couple of weeks, right?
like because they decided to take the catheter out and hope that my body would just be able to do it, and so I was urinating like maybe like 10 times a night
Oh,
for a
Jesus.
while because my body had to start
I do that right now.
regulating, you know. So
I drink so much damn soda.
Soda, sure.
it's soda.
So I said soda.
We'll go with soda.
Okay, I'm with you.
So my kidney function was it was really high. A normal kidney function is like a 90.
You're not a drinker,
An average
though,
kidney
right?
function is like a 90, and my kidney function was like a 160. So it was like really high to begin with.
Right.
And then I gave it to him, and it was filtering too much urine that his body couldn't keep up with it. So they had to keep him on fluids so he wouldn't get dehydrated.
Yeah, the doctors also said that.
That was the only complication.
Now
Right.
you've adjusted to all.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
it's all normal now. It's just my body had to adjust because what they said is I actually had a tiny bit of function left. So my kidneys were actually functioning. They just weren't getting rid of the toxins.
Quicker.
So they were, because I was still urinating and stuff, but it was just
Not right.
liquid. It was
Yeah.
they wasn't doing their job pretty
It
much.
wasn't yellow.
It wasn't yellow.
It was
just
white.
clear. It was just
Water.
Yeah, it was pretty much water. So I still had kidney function. So the doctor said that my kidneys had to like regulate themselves. They were like, I got a new friend. I got to figure out how we work together.
Well, when you got the new one, I got to ask you this since we're talking colors. So was it after the surgery, like when you peed? Was it really, really dark yellow?
Yeah, well, it was pretty dark at
I
first.
don't know. I can't believe I just asked that.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah.
If you're just chiming in, you're
What color is
listening
your pee?
to KUHSdenver.com here in the Gift of Giving show on the Denver Takeover Show, KUHSdenver.com. We'd like to thank everybody up there in the international camera. Also, if you're watching on the website or if you're listening to us on the audio portion, we're also broadcasting audio. So it's in a multicast format right now, and everybody who's up on Facebook, we have Dwight, we have James, and we have Mr. Christian all in the house here.
Boy.
This is the donor, this is the recipient, and this is the man who brought them in for the story. It's been awesome just expressing ourselves and letting you know, and that there's plenty of people out there in need, and we're looking for one for Chuck Uleberry. If you know anybody who wants to donate a kidney, Mr. Chuck Uleberry is in desperate need for a kidney.
He's an O positive blood type.
O positive blood type, if you know anybody who's got that O positive blood type. And you can go on the Facebook page, and the Gift of Giving is up there. You can also go to Christian's page and probably link off of that.
Yeah, any questions, you can contact me and I'll be happy to help you or explain some stuff too.
So right there, is there anything else we want to say before we get up?
I think it would be really good just to talk about, the risks of
Let's go over the risks.
Yeah, so here's what my doctor told me when I went in is, okay, so your percentage of developing a kidney disease is like a certain percent, right? It's a low number.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's a really low number, and then so what you do?
I'm thinking that.
Didn't you say it was like 6% or something? I remember you telling me.
No. It's like 0.5%.
Oh, 0.5,
It's like
yeah.
between a quarter and a half of a percentage.
Really?
Yeah, it's really low.
Kidneys don't fail much?
No, well, I mean they
They
do.
The number one reason kidneys fail is type 2 diabetes or
Why did
type 1
yours
diabetes.
fail?
Autoimmune disease that attacks
What
your
was it?
kidneys. It's a rare one. It's actually, there's not much cases of it. Well, the version, it's called ankylosing.
So it just came on to you.
Yeah, I was healthy before this, and it just happened.
Bam.
I didn't even know I had it. That's why I didn't put life support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, it's just it's a autoimmune disease
It
that causes
attacks-
inflammation.
Just the kidneys, or does it get in the liver?
No, it doesn't attack the liver.
I
But,
attacked my liver. That's for sure.
So Christian, you were talking.
Yeah. So your risk of developing a kidney disease is like say 0.5%. And what happens when you donate a kidney is you double your chances of developing a kidney disease
Because you no longer have that.
because you only have one. So yeah, you double it. But still, if it's a low number and you double it,
0.5%?
it's still a really low number. So it's not that big. Like people would think, why would I ever donate a kidney
So
if
then
it's going to
what-
double my chances of developing a
But do
kidney
the math,
disease?
Chris.
But if that number is already really small and you double it, it's still a really small number. So it's like 1 in 100 for me now,
Wow.
instead of 1 in 200.
But both of you just work out a lot, so that
Yeah.
helps in keeping your body
Right.
strong, keeping it healthy. And now that you're working out again, you're probably feeling great. You look like you're very healthy.
Yeah, I'm really healthy. It hasn't affected me at all.
How old are you, Dwight?
21.
And how old are
You're
you?
21?
Yeah,
I'm
I'll be-
28.
I'll be
20,
22.
21,
on the
so
18th.
So a 28-year-old kidney in a 21-year-old body.
Yeah.
And that's
So
kicking
he
butt.
looks
Yeah.
like he turned 18. The way it's, you look really, really good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you look healthy, and so well, of course you do.
He looks okay.
Yeah, he's alright.
Christian, I got to ask you,
Ask me.
now that we're on the radio show and we're explaining it to everybody,
Mhm.
there must be thoughts of actual greatness going through your mind right now.
Yeah, I think
But
we're
what
really
else
onto
is-
something, and we can
What
really
else
make
is
an
on your mind?
impact with saving lives. I think that's the most value that any business can provide. The point of a business is to provide value for its
You're not
consumers.
a business.
But yeah, I am a business. I'm raising awareness. It's a nonprofit organization
Okay.
to raise awareness, to let people know that, hey, you can go save a life if you're healthy, and it's not going to affect you going forward. I think it's a pretty beautiful thing, and it adds the most value. My doctor told me that the kidney donation process is the biggest bang for your buck in medical history. So if that tells you anything, then it adds a lot of value.
What
So
was
that's what
that
I'm
word
thinking
again?
right now is
What word?
incavasculitis.
Ankylosing.
Incavasculitis.
Wow, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
And
I don't
so,
want to know about it either.
so they do a lot of tests for the donors to make sure
What test do you go through?
first that their blood type match and that their genes match,
Mhm.
and then they put the two people's blood in a
Do a
test
cross
tube
match.
to see if the cells break or not.
Is that right?
So if that all passes, and then they do more tests to make sure that you're actually healthy to donate a kidney, they do a gene test to see what your risk is of developing a
So
kidney.
this was 4 months ago, right?
Yeah, this is 4 months ago. They
So
do
you
a
were
test.
27.
They do a test to see if if you have a high risk of developing a kidney disease in the future. And so if you have a high risk, they won't let you do it. Because first of all, they don't want to put you in jeopardy, and they don't want to give a kidney to somebody, that's going to fail down the road.
Right.
So there's a lot of tests just to make sure that both people are going to it's safe for them to do, and that it's going to work properly. So they did 15 tubes of blood for me the first time, and then the second time they called me back, and they took 25 tubes of blood from me. If that tells you anything, yeah. So they're pretty thorough about it.
Did you have any left?
That's what
Yeah,
I was
I
wondering.
had some left. So that was good. You actually donate like a couple quarts of blood when you donate a
Evidently.
kidney too.
Wow.
So there you have it here on KUHSdenver.com. The
Donated
gift
blood.
of giving. The gift of giving here on the station. We were happy to have Dwight and Christian, and Mr. James here in the studio. And we're probably going to conclude now. I hope you enjoyed this show because we certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. This is one heck of a great story. If you want to hear more about it, go to the Gift of Giving on Facebook page and contact Christian more about how to gift your kidney to somebody if you really are truly wanting to help somebody out.
This is the holidays.
Yeah,
This
to
is the
live.
time to
And
think
so
about it.
we're trying to find one for Mr. Chuck Uleberry, and we're pushing for him. He's a good friend of his, mine, everybody else. And so, Mr. Dwight, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah,
I know
thank you
that
for
you're
having
so
me.
healthy and happy and going to enjoy your Christmas season. And Mr. Christian.
Christian on
I love that.
Facebook.
I love that. I love that you put it to Christian, and that says a lot about the man. Donating his kidney to Mr. Dwight. So from now on, if you want to really be good out there and want to be in the gift of giving, you go ahead and do so. KUHSdenver.com, bringing you all these sensational stories and shows. I'm glad you joined us.
Happy holidays.
For all of those who joined us, if you want to have one last say to anybody out there on both cameras and on the audio, you can say anything you'd like at this point.
Yeah, I'd like to say something. So actually, I want to say that I was trying to get a donor, and I put a lot of things out there. Like I did a Facebook page, and I did flyers, and I had it on my car, everything I could. And I actually counted 30
Is that
potential
right?
people who wanted to donate. And so I just want to say thank you to all of them because, I got calls from them wanting
Really?
to get tested. And
Wow.
so, that just shows how many good people there really are.
Yes.
And I didn't think I was going to get any. I just did it because I was desperate, and I didn't want to ask, but
You literally put posters on cars?
I did everything. I went around our
Oh.
community college and I put flyers where I wasn't
There's
supposed
flyers
to. I did
everywhere.
everything. Yeah, I did
he was
everything.
on it. He was
I had to do
proactive
everything.
about it. A lot of people, they just sit there
They
and
just
they
sit there and
give
don't do
up.
anything. They're like, I'm just gonna wait on the
Yeah.
list.
But you weren't pushing people.
I wasn't pushing people. No,
As
I
you
just
said you weren't
he's-
pushing.
like I didn't even ask him. I just was like,
Yeah, he
and
told me that he needed one, and I was like,
I just put it out there to get the word out, but I didn't push anybody because I didn't want. I think.
I mean,
I
if
wouldn't
you're
want anyone.
putting literally on cars.
Well, I wasn't putting it on cars. No, I put it.
in the
I put
damn
It was on
grocery
his
store?
car.
It was on my car. Is what I meant.
He had,
I had,
I was
on
on
my
your
car.
on his window
Right.
and stuff. And actually, that's a really funny story. I kind of
Yeah,
want to
tell
tell
me
it
that one.
really
Go ahead.
quick. So I'm driving down the street, and I pull up next to Dwight, and I see looking for a live kidney donor on his window, and
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
hey, you guys need a kidney? And they just started laughing. But at that point, I was going through the tests, and one of the tests is you have to fill up this jug full of pee throughout the day. Every time
Hey,
you
you
go pee,
donated pee too?
every time you go pee, you have to pee in this jug. And like I'm really busy, so I got my pee jug in my car with a lunch container, whatever, with some ice packs in there, to keep it cool. Because it's during the summer.
I'm not gonna.
And I pull it out and I
TMI.
show it to them, and they got the biggest smile on their face because they knew
There's
that I
something I
was
want to ask.
I
you,
was
but
serious
just can't.
about it, and I was going through with it. So I was it put a smile on their face. And then the night before we had surgery, I went over to his house and we did a little Facebook Live video, and he gave me a couple of things, and one of those things was a new lunchbox,
That's
so I didn't
right.
have to
Yeah,
use
that
my
one.
old P1.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have to
And
do that
Christian-
Was
one.
it like a Superman one?
Christian, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, I'd like to say a couple of things. It's Go Save a Life on Facebook. Check it out. I really appreciate you guys for having me here, James, and thank you, Dwight, for coming. Henry, I really
I
appreciate
want
you.
to
I
thank
look,
Henry
I look
because
forward to doing more stuff on here.
Yeah,
I've
you
been
did.
contacted by a couple people that have shows here to do some
So you're
stuff
going to be
on there.
back. So don't
So I'm
forget,
gonna be
coming back
back, yeah.
on, it's going to be on Intimate Talk with Karen, Dr. K.
I want to thank Henry for
Yeah.
hearing me out on this story.
You.
I thought it was very important during the holidays to talk about something so special like this. So I
Don't
wanna
start
thank you,
crying
Henry.
on us now here. I
All
got
right, I
some.
promise.
Just kidding. No, it's really that touching. If you,
Yeah, it's a beautiful story.
it's a beautiful story. It is.
And I
that
want to
touching.
thank Christian for sharing his story with me, because if I didn't know about it, we wouldn't be here doing it.
So,
Yeah, if you guys have any other ways that we can get the word out, reach out to me and hopefully we can make something happen too.
Send your feedback on Facebook Live.
and thank you for joining us. We're going to conclude this show. KUHSdenver.com, streaming around the world. We're touching musical lives around the world. We're also global, which means we're local and global. So from there, we're going to say goodbye to all our guests here and see you all later. We all want to stay smiling at the camera.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays, guys.
And to our international audience, we'd like to say goodbye for now. If you're streaming on the website, we'd like to say goodbye for now with all our great guests here. See you all later.